I am here with Kostas Frudarakis, and he is the founder of Ex Machina Engineering and also a great YouTuber. I came across the content and I said, we've got to have this guy on. So thank you so much for coming on. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on. It's a great honor to talk to you, and I'm very happy to be here.
Oh, it's a great pleasure to have you as well. So you've been putting out some great content. I think my favorite video has got to be the spline tangency video. What motivated you to get on YouTube?
Well, I've been using many platforms. Professionally, I've used Creo Parametric back when it was called Pro Engineer, right? I've used SolidWorks, Fusion, almost all of them, and since 2021, I've been using Alibre full time in the company, and I'm thrilled from the value to cost ratio, right? And it's really powerful, and it seems to be in social media there's an idea that Alibre is the budget option, hence it needs to be the least powerful option, and it's not the case. So I started, doing videos about things I saw in social media, basically that said Alibre can't do that. And I thought, no, that's not true, man. That's not true. That's what got me started. Trying to show people that, well, it's a bit different workflow maybe than a couple of other CAD systems, but that's about it. So that's why I started doing the YouTube videos.
I have to say, I think we've got a similar story there because I think I've tried to do every platform under the sun. And what brought me to Alibre was being so frustrated as a student, learning the software and realizing it is so expensive for personal use. And when I found Alibre, I was so happy. It does so much to put, CAD in the hands of everyday users. So
exactly.
I think we're here for the same reason.
There you go, man. No, I mean, it's as you say, learning a system. In my school, we learned on Pro Engineer Wildfire 3, I think, back then. So when I started my company, I got a quote for it. And, I don't want to name prices or amounts here, but it was roughly 20 times higher than Alibre. And I can definitely tell you, I'm 100% sure it's not 20 times more powerful. So
that's a good way to measure that too.
Yeah, I mean,
that's fair enough. Do you have a particular vision for the YouTube channel where you want it to go or anything like that?
No, not a particular vision other than what I just, described. The idea is to help people incorporate Alibre into their workflows, right, and into their everyday use. And I've done videos with other CAD systems as well, right? Mm-hmm. For example, I use FreeCAD a lot for secondary purposes, and I love the implementation of OpenFOAM in FreeCAD, for example, right? So that's a good reason to have that platform as well. I have another software for robotics simulation. It's called Coppelia Sim, from this amazing company called Coppelia Robotics. And you can export step files, STL files, over for a robotic simulation. That's another great use case for Alibre, right? Design a machine or design the entire production line, pretty much, right? And port it over. So it comes with KeyShot. I love KeyShot, by the way. Really powerful. And I was using Fusion up to about COVID, right? And, I love the rendering in Fusion, but it doesn't use the GPU. And I don't really care for that. I mean, if I can do something in KeyShot in 5 minutes and I need to wait a couple of hours in another piece of software, that's not good enough for me. I need to make, I need to get jobs at the door. So Yeah, that's basically it. Showing that, it's a software that you can work with. Definitely. Uh, world class level.
I totally agree. And again, that's what got me into Libre too. Was it plays well with other platforms, but it's also
Yeah.
so accessible to everyone. And
Yeah.
I think that's where the name comes from, Libre, meaning liberated from high CAD prices for sure.
I
Uh,
think so too. I get that. I get that.
uh, wow. Well, I think that your channel certainly deserves a lot more subscribers with the quality of content that you're putting out. And I particularly like that video where you go through and do the same thing in multiple platforms to show
Right. Yeah.
just how
Yeah.
similar it is.
Unfortunately, our main system kind of had a hiccup, so that series is suspended. I'm hoping that I'll bring it back this week. But again, that follows the same logic, right? Um, I'm sure you've been there before. Uh, no, this CAD system can do it, and this CAD system can. No, no, man, it's mathematics and it's geometry, right? It's just that you do it a different way. And uh, I heard Tutal Toby in an interview the other day, and he put it perfectly, saying it's not the wand, it's the wizard.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give a shout out to that because I think he's 100% on the head on that.
I think you're absolutely right, and I've heard him say that too. I absolutely love it.
Yeah. It's a great philosophy, actually.
Definitely, definitely. So you founded Ex Machina Engineering. Tell me the story of that.
Oh man, there's a lot going on there. So um, basically, I finished my studies in 2014. I'd taken a long sabbatical, to be honest, from university, and in the meantime, I have worked in CNC machine shops, which was an eye opener, by the way. Yeah. It's amazing because the world of CAD is you can do anything, but if you need to make it, then becomes a whole different story. So I finished my studies in 2014 in the peak of the Greek economic crisis. I was trying to get a job as a mechanical engineer, and it was difficult. Jobs were scarce. I worked for about a year and a half in a great company that did wastewater treatment plants. Amazing company, and I learned a lot. But you know, once you've been in a CNC machine shop and you've taken a block of metal, right, and you've taken a part out of that block of metal, nothing else will do. So I founded my own company in 2016, and as an engineering consultancy, me and my wife actually, and and we're offering services, industrial engineering and MEP engineering to clients ever since. And we even have some presence abroad. We have clients abroad through LinkedIn and Upwork. So I think it was the right choice to do.
That's great. Well, 100%. I love when people start their own business. So I'm fully behind you on that. Do you have a certain niche that you focus on, or do you take anything? Or
So I'll tell you what I tell our customers, right? So we can design a part for you, right? Or a product, or a machine, right? And then we can design the product line to make that. And then we can design the factory that the product line will go in to make that. So engineering services, top to bottom, vertically integrated.
love it. Wow, that's a great variety, and I know you know your stuff if you can go to that level for sure.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a lot of pressure, but let me tell you, it's so rewarding that I wouldn't change it for the world.
Wow. What does your wife do in the company?
She's the MEP engineer, right? And she does things that sound Chinese to me, but here you go. You know, why use that empirical equation to do, ventilation design? Where does that come from? Nowhere. It's empirical data. So that's a bit much for me. I'm more, mathematics type guy. But yeah, no, it's been going great, I think.
That's great. It's funny. I was talking to Too Tall Toby, and his wife does a whole lot for the channel too. So that they're a dream team like you guys are. And
that's great. That's great, man. Yeah.
My
this
wife
is Too Tall. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he's a great guy too.
Yeah, he is, and he's done a lot for the community, and I think that this speed modeling championship that he came up with, right? It's helping people get real world skills just by spectating, just by watching, right? And it's amazing. It's amazing. I find it great, and he's so committed to it, and he does it great.
Absolutely. Well, I know Alibre just loves the speed modeling thing too, so I think there's going to be some news coming out on that pretty soon too.
Excellent. Because we need some presence there. Ty did great this year. He lost in the first round by seconds, so he did it well. But we need some more presence next year, I think.
We do.
Right? We need to bring out the big guns next year. Let's see what we'll do. Let's see.
Oh yeah, and I believe Ty is going to be competing next year as well, and I just cannot wait because I think he's done so great so far, and like what you said, let's get a lot of
It's going to be good. Yeah, I saw what he did. Yeah.
I think one big advantage that Alibre has is you can customize the hotkeys.
Man, if you see, some of my videos are just about customizing hotkeys.
Yep.
And it's right. And the first video I did in the Alibre Tips and Tricks series was select through a surface, right? Select behind a surface.
Yep.
And how do you do that? Well, you customize the key and you show the hidden edges, and that's it. So yeah, there's a lot of potential there, right? There's a lot of potential. It's just like any system that's been developing over years, right? You need to put some hours studying it, basically learning it, right? So yeah, for sure there's that, but the potential is there. I'm telling you.
Absolutely. I love that video that you did because you magically make the model transparent. You pick that key and you're like, well, how did I do that? That was a good attention grabber. I smiled pretty big.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a good one to make, actually.
That's great. So I know I've met a lot of people that use Alibre as hobbyists, but it's great to see a business using it. And
sure.
I mean, we've got a lot of businesses, but it's great to talk to someone who's using it professionally. So has that gone pretty well compared to all the other platforms that you've used?
I'll tell you what. It's been going great for me, right? So it's empowered me to do things. For example, as we've talked in messages before, I started with a trial of Alibre, right? I was like, let's see what it can do. I was still using the older platform, which was basically Fusion, and I was like, let's see what we will do. I was designing back then a handheld device, which unfortunately I can't talk too much about. But the thing is, I was given by an industrial designer, and she was wonderful, and she was from Ukraine, and we were working as the war broke out.
Wow.
That's an experience, man.
Yeah.
At some point, she comes on the project channel, and she's like, the design is going to be a couple of days late. It was because of an actual war going on. Wow. Anyway, so she had given me the design, as a surface. So I would thicken it, and I needed to make a webbing on the inside, as you do with these things. And I was having amazing trouble getting the shape that I wanted. So I fire up the trial in Alibre, and I do the sketch lines, right? Thin extrude, up to next, and it did it in like, I don't know, man, it was under a second. Wow. I was playing with that thing for an entire afternoon, and I was like, yeah, that's where we need to go, because at some point you weigh things, and Alibre has the raw horsepower, and you need that, right? You need that, and you can figure out how to handle it later. So that's why I went that way.
That's a great story. And I don't know, it's a beautiful software. I think the ambient occlusion is spot on.
Oh man, yeah, it's got a beautiful presentation as you're designing, right? I saw that too, and I really like that. It's got two lights in the lighting on the workspace, and one of them is blue. It's amazing.
I do like that a lot. Do you see it going anywhere in the future?
You mean Alibre as a software?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What I've seen, and which I like, is the last few years, right? There's been an accelerated evolution of the software, which is good, right? I think it's using the ASYS core. So which is the same as cryoparametric, right? Which is basically like an industry standard. So the potential is there, right? And it's evolving very fast. So I think that the next 5 years are going to be great for Alibre, because, in my opinion, you just need to iron out a few kinks and communicate it, and then people will get the message. It's right now, man. I'm telling you, it's the industry's best kept secret. That's how I can describe it.
Totally agree. I'm glad to be in on the secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, when they came out with RAP, I'm like, this is it, man. We have everything.
Yeah, exactly. That would be one, actually. Yeah. No, I mean, V27 also did some amazing stuff. Pattern on the Path is really nice, right? But the toolbox, that's the thing for me, right? The Excel-driven toolbox, because in Excel, you can very easily implement logic functions, right? If this is bigger than that, so you're designing, I don't know what, you're designing a trailer, right?
Yep.
Or you're designing a cupboard. If it's longer than that, it needs 2 doors. If it's even longer, it needs 3, up to that point. So, you can discretize and you can use logic, and it's a game changer.
I totally agree. I was so excited when that came out as well. So I have to ask, I've seen you on the forums. You're wearing a awesome looking red Racecar Driver suit.
Oh man. So that was in the olden days, right? I've set up a tarmac rally team, and we've done some competition, and it was just a Nissan Micra, but we developed it ourselves. Right, we developed the engine. We developed a pretty trick diff for it. Actually, we did a roll cage, and we went, head first. We went in, and the results came. Right, I have to say, from a team with a budget of about -$3 or something. That was our budget, right? We did some we got some good results. Since then, that's tapered off a bit. The business, the family, priorities, have a way of funneling costs elsewhere. So yeah, but that's the actual reason. I mean, I became a mechanical engineer.
Hey, same here. I loved making things go faster.
Making them go faster, be lighter, be stronger, whatever you need to do for the clock to stop a tenth sooner.
Exactly. And like you, I have 2 wonderful daughters who have funneled all of my time and resources elsewhere.
I'm there. My wife is expecting our second daughter, so I'm right behind you.
Congratulations. Wow, we both have 2 daughters. We're both Alibre fans. We like cars. This is
There you
This is
go.
great.
There you go. I mean, that's it.
And I think I saw something 350Z related on your channel as well.
Yeah, you did. So, after that Nissan incident with the Micra, yeah. So that was Dad's car. By the way, the reason I'm into motorsport is because my dad was a rally driver and his co-driver was my mom. So
Wow.
it was a genetic thing, I guess. It's, so yeah, that was Dad's car. And he bought it and he said, this is a great car. I'm going to keep it completely stock. By the way, the roads here in Crete are not very well preserved, right? It's a little bit slippery, potholes, undulations. So it was like, 350Z, it's fine. It's fine. It doesn't need anything. I'll keep it stock. And it ended up like 400 horsepower or something.
Wow.
Old people, right?
Exactly. Yep. I love it when someone says, it's my daily. I'll never do more than intake and exhaust. Then the whole engine's out of it.
Yeah, exactly. No chance. No chance.
That's fantastic. Do you have any cool stories of racing?
Cool stories of racing. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. So first rally that we ever did with that little Micra, we thought we need to work on the brakes, right? They weren't up to scratch. It was just a city runaround. So changed to better rotors, harder pads. We had planned to change pads in every service park, so we could get a bit of performance out of them. And then we had the brilliant idea. It was like, light bulb moment. It was a broken light bulb, but anyway, to use .5 brake fluids, which are silicon based. Mm-hmm. And what we learned from that is that if a car or a bike doesn't have silicon based brake fluids and you want to change to them, you need to replace the entire brake system, right? Because one is hydrophobic and the other one isn't. And what you end up is with tiny little bubbles of moisture right on the brake caliper cylinder, and that means you don't really have any brakes. And I found that on the first hairpin of the first stage that we did. After a couple fast S's, I was up to fourth gear. And bless that little car, I went down to second, and it was like 9,500 RPM. But we got through it. So, yeah, that was a fun one. Stories, man, you wouldn't believe it. Yeah. Rally racing is a very particular type of beast, right? Because you do the recce, and you have the road in front of you, right? You make notes, and your co-driver reads them back. It's all very organized. But then at competition day, you've got like 40, especially me, I was in the lower categories. You have 20, 30, 40 cars going in front of you. So you've got no guarantee the road is going to be the way you left it, right?
Right.
You go into a blind right-hander and there's dirt that people have drawn onto the tarmac, or there's an oil spill from somebody who was a bit overzealous. So, yeah, it's always on the edge, man. It's always balancing. And you know what I always said? I said, my co-driver drives the car. I just, catch the errors. That's it.
I love it. And
yeah.
I think it's one of the most exciting ones, too, because of how much you can run into. You're going off-road and all over it. I think it's more exciting to watch than a bunch of left turns. Maybe I'll catch some heat for that. But
okay, I'll catch some heat with you as well.
Okay.
Anything with less than 4 corners, I'm not interested in. And I've put that threshold there because, okay, Indy 500, it's Indy 500, right? Yeah. But anything below that, I'm not interested in. So there you go.
I hear you. Yeah. I was just watching a Bruce McLaren documentary. It was so fantastic.
Man, yeah, sure.
And when I learned more about,
he was that weird type of person that went racing back then, mm-hmm. right? Because back then you went racing, right? And before the start, you kissed your wife and your kids goodbye, just in case, right? There were different times back then. So, yeah, to do that and start from New Zealand, which had no heritage in motorsport back then, and build an entire team and build an empire, as it turned out. I mean, after his death, the team was sold on, but still, amazing. All that generation of drivers, I am amazed. Just look at the layout of Spa-Francorchamps back then, right? I mean, if you got it slightly wrong, you would go through a guy's living room, right? As he's having his afternoon tea. That's some stuff to think about.
For sure. Wow. Real amazing guy, because he's an engineer, but he's a race car driver. And I think a lot of engineers want to be in that position.
Yes.
Like you too.
Well, yes. Not all of them can. Right? I have to tell you, man, the timer is ruthless. It's ruthless. It doesn't care what you think at all. Mm-hmm. Right? So.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's all I have. Did you have anything to add on as well?
Well, not in particular. So yeah, just that we need to communicate about Alibre a bit better.
Yeah.
Right. I'm taking advantage of it. It's helped my company. I was talking with Risa in Greece the other day, and I told him that I literally got a return on my investment in about a month, right? So yeah. So we need to communicate it a bit better. The performance is there, right? Like I say, the raw horsepower is there. You need to iron out some kinks so it's a bit more usable, maybe, but you can still do what you need to do. And I see all different kind of jobs. I mean, I've made anything from a robotic station for lab calibration up to a wooden case for dual cut display, right? Wow. There was a client from Singapore. She wanted a dual case to display the types of cuts she could do, right? So yeah, it's there. You can do it.
Absolutely. I'm right there with you. And if you are watching this, please subscribe to this man's channel, Ex Machina. I love the content he's putting out, and it's just going to keep coming. So thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor, and it's been great talking to you, whom I've been watching and learning from for quite a bit.
Oh, thank you.